How's it going, folks? It is Matt back with another crypto video. Today's a quick update on Cardano, and as the title suggests, there are two major updates coming for Cardano very soon. We already know one being Shelly, and Shelly will allow, if you're unfamiliar, Shelly will allow Cardano to become fully decentralized. It will allow for the staking of the ADA currency, which will allow you to earn passive income simply by holding ADA, and you can join other stake pools and things of that nature. But the other update that is coming was talked about in a recent AMA from Charles Hoskinson, and that is the Goguen update. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, so feel free to correct me in the comments, but I'm just going to keep saying Goguen. So as you can see on the Cardano Roadmap, Goguen technically is the step after Shelly, but as Charles Hoskinson pointed out in this AMA, that, well, first, what is Goguen? It will allow for the smart contract functionality on the Cardano blockchain. And the most important part pointed out by Charles Hoskinson is this can be done whether the system is centralized or decentralized, meaning that Goguen could be released even if Shelly is not fully rolled out and implemented, if Shelly were to face some more delays. So that's good news. He said there were two separate teams. There's a team working on Shelly, and there's a separate team working on Goguen. He's saying that it is very close to being complete, and more than likely we're going to see the release of Shelly and the release of Goguen before the end of 2019. And I don't think it was this article. It might have been a different one. But Charles Hoskinson was saying once these two milestones in their roadmap are released, Cardano's just going to keep growing stronger and stronger through the end of 2019. And he even said that if Shelly is fully implemented and it starts to become decentralized by the end of 2019, Cardano could be 100 times more decentralized than Bitcoin, and that's a big statement, being the market leader of Bitcoin. But again, it's just exciting to see that. We know Shelly's coming any day now, and keep in mind, as Charles Hoskinson said a couple weeks ago, Shelly's not going to be like you flip the light switch and we got full decentralization, full staking, all of that. It's going to come piece by piece, update over update, but I do expect that to start happening very, very soon. And the fact now that the next step in the Cardano roadmap, Goguen, is basically close to being done as well and can be released at any point, it's good news for Cardano. I know they got a lot of criticism, people saying they develop too slow, or people worry that since their funding only extends through 2020 that they might not accomplish all of their goals they've set out and they might run out of funding. So it's nice to see two of their major milestones, Shelly and Goguen, set to be released very soon, expected to be released before the end of 2019. And that will leave these last two updates, Basho and Voltaire, for them to focus on during 2020. But once Shelly is released, once Goguen is released and it's fully decentralized, you allow staking of Cardano, and you got the smart contract functionality, that could see Cardano become the king of STOs. As this article has pointed out here, Emergo is taking steps to make Cardano the king of STOs. And they go on to say in this article that the ICO game seems to be dying after its peak in 2017. People are waking up and realizing, hey, not every project out there has our interest or has really any interest in mind. A lot of them just seem to be a scam project, people trying to get rich quick off of the hype, and that certainly absolutely has been taking place, and people are realizing that, and that's why the ICO game is dying. But as I actually reported on it when it first broke the news, that Emergo made a strategic partnership in the investment firm Y2X, and this was a move to drive the adoption of Cardano. Y2X is an investment platform, and they aim to bridge the gap between the digital economy and the mainstream financial markets. And apparently yesterday, Emergo touched on this investment in Y2X and how it would push Cardano to become the leader in the STO space. As part of the quote from that, they say Y2X is a global mandate to help companies raise capital to do some of the most innovative things in the world. This is done primarily through issuing security tokens, and Cardano will become the protocol of choice for Y2X and its portfolio firms to enhance the usage of the technology, especially in the field of regulated STOs, therefore providing an increased value to ADA holders. So this article just continues to go on to say why STOs are better than ICOs. They're just more sustainable in the long run, and that in turn, if all of these STOs are going to be built on Cardano's blockchain, would make Cardano more sustainable going into the future. And they go on to point out that if Cardano did in fact become the king of STOs, certainly they have good potential to do so, but if they were to become the king of STOs, Cardano could see some similar, I guess, price movement wise that Ethereum saw during the heyday of the ICO madness going on in 2017. But again, the STO approach is more sustainable than the ICO approach. So Cardano is definitely looking good. This last article that I have to talk about just briefly, this is saying Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson takes aim at Ethereum and EOS. And I found this article interesting because as I read it the entire time I thought of Digibyte. And you'll find out why if you have not read this article already. He's saying, he told interviewers that the strength of cryptocurrency moving forward will be through defining itself as a decentralized industry, one that necessitates leaderlessness, meaning there is no leader, there's no CEO, there's no king in charge, and that is basically the foundation of Digibyte. You know, it doesn't have a company behind it, it's just pure volunteers. There's no CEO, there's no leader, so to speak. It's just people contributing to the project. But he's saying, as opposed to the hallmark, he's saying we need to strive for leaderlessness as opposed to striving for the hallmark of decentralization. Hoskinson sees the industry projects as promoting a top-down approach, establishing figures that are similar to a president or a king or committee or a group that have been endowed with special powers. He's saying truly decentralized cryptocurrencies should operate as a cooperative or as a bottom-up community. Delving into his opinion on the current state of decentralization and how it can be exacerbated further in the coming years, Hoskinson said, "We really do have a governance problem." And as this article just continues to go on, where he does talk about Ethereum and EOS, he says that Vitalik at Ethereum, and I forget the name of the EOS CEO, but he's saying they kind of seem to have like this noble goal of leading this small group of developers into the future and becoming like the greatest thing ever, but it's just not a sustainable approach. He's saying that the better way to approach this, I'm trying to see if I can find the exact quote, can't find it, but anyway, he's saying basically it could take years to happen. One, for people in the world to kind of grasp the concept that there's kind of a company that doesn't have a leader, doesn't have a CEO. It's going to take some years for people to grasp that concept of decentralization, but that is the direction the space needs to move, and that's the direction it is going to move going into the future. So that will wrap up today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely some exciting times coming in the short term for ADA investors with the release of Shelly and now soon the release of Goguen. So again, that wraps up today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to get notifications, like it, share it, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys later.